Mr. Cook, it's great to talk to you. How are you, and are you excited to get back to Tuscaloosa this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. Always good to get back up there and see the former playmates and all that. So it's a good time to go back up to T-Town.
We're certainly excited to see you and again so many of your teammates. And let's go all the way back. Tell us, first of all, where you're from and your high school football playing days and how eventually you got to Alabama.
Well, grew up in Abbeville, Alabama, a little small town, country town on the eastern side, right above Dothan. And we were back then a 2A level ranking. And Pat Dye recruited me along with my coach, Duke Hennessy. And Pat would come down. He was recruiting Ronnie Joe Barnes at the time, who was a year older than me. So he was kind of doing two into one visit. So it was just great that we got to. Pat was just such a great guy that you could relate to. And I knew when I went up to Alabama for a pregame or the games be played, it was think against Houston. And my mom and dad were up there, and we're real country folks, so we didn't know how to mingle with the rich people or the other people that was hanging around the A Club at that time. And Coach Bryant came over to our booth, and he put his hand on my right shoulder. And it just kind of, as he was talking to my parents, it was like he could relate to their countryside of life. And chill bumps kind of went up my spine, and then the hair kind of roused up on my neck. And I told mom and dad after Coach Bryant walked away, I said, if he can motivate me or have this effect on me just by coming over and talking to you and me, and I knew he was going to be my coach. So that night, we went out, and my chaperone was Steve Bisceglia. He was a fullback, I believe, and a senior. And he told me one of the things you want to ask Coach Bryant is to make sure he's going to be here your whole time, the 4 years, because at that time he was kind of thinking of going to coaching pro ball. So when I met with Coach Bryant the next day, it was just like he assured me that he was going to be there the full term, and it just kind of clicked, and it was blessed by they made freshmen eligible my freshman year, so I was able to get some playing time. I had a couple of good mentors with John Croyle, which was a great athlete, defensive end, and John Mitchell. But I hung around John Croyle quite a bit because he was just such, like I said, just such a good athlete all around. But he had bad knees, so he was subject to, be injured or taken out of the game. So it gave me some playing time early on. And I think there was about 5 or 6 of us freshmen that lettered or played enough to be part of the team, which was great.
Certainly a great start to your Alabama days. You mentioned being recruited by Coach Dye and then obviously getting to meet Coach Bryant. I think a lot of Alabama fans may not know as much about some of your position coaches. What can you tell us about Dude Hennessy as well as getting to play for Ken Donahue?
Oh, Coach Hennessy was my buddy. He was a great little guy, and he could inspire me to push me. I got better by him encouraging me. And it was always a positive thing with it because he was such a little guy. He was part of the Tiny Giants at Kentucky under Coach Bryant. And all the defensive ends at that time, like I said, John Croyle, Mitchell, everybody was 6'3", 6'4". We stood up and towered over him because he was just a little old bitty guy. And we went up to him one day. He was looking up at us and trying to show us techniques where he could get down so low to the ground to take on the blockers. And went up and we were rubbing on his neck. I said, Coach, I know you got a cramp in your neck from looking up at all of us. He just got all excited. But he was one of those guys, he was the loudest coaches. I mean, You could hear him on the field hollering. I mean, he was just telling you, just a great, great inspiration on what you were doing wrong, how to line up, so forth, so on. But you could hear him above everybody else, even the crowd cheering you on or telling you, what's coming on the play. So he was just a big, big, big influence in my life. And Coach Dye, like I said, there was nobody better to me for what he was able to tell us about what college life was going to be like, and that was also a big, big, big bonus play.
Well, this weekend we're celebrating the 1975 SEC champions, and for you all, that season started unfortunately with a shocking loss, kind of what Alabama is experiencing a little bit this season. How did you guys bounce back after falling to Missouri early in the year, but then ultimately having a great season?
Well, the bad thing about the Missouri game is that our coaching staff kind of thought they were going to run a different formation. So we had Coach Donahue was a great defensive coordinator and a workaholic, but he put us in a particular defense that we had never run. We practiced it, but we never ran it. And the first half of the game, it was like Missouri knew exactly what play to run to offset the gap shooting that we were doing on defense. And unfortunately for us, they just ran the ball. I think it was Tony Galbraith was the running back. They just ran the ball in the gaps that we were shooting. So they picked up yardage and they scored and they kept scoring. And jumped out to like 20-0 at halftime. And our offense just unfortunately could not get something going with too many turnovers first game. Too many turnovers and, finally wound up being 20-7. But after that, it was like the players kind of got together and said, hey, this ain't our style of play. And things changed and we just got better and better as the season went along.
You certainly did. And one of those great moments, we always love talking about wins against either Auburn or Tennessee. That Tennessee game, getting to the quarterback, Randy Wallace, 13 times sacks in that ball game. And understand you had some fun trash talk with the Tennessee quarterback that afternoon.
Yeah, I like to do the jabbing, when you get out there having fun. You want to talk a little bit. And of course, the officials, they right on top of you, trying to tell you to calm it down and don't be saying this. And then by the time you get a little action going, they go over and tell Coach Bryant about what you're doing out there, and he'll kind of give you a little reprimand when you get over to the side. Keep it up, but keep your mouth shut. So it was just a great, great, great. We were prepared that game. And when, like I said, Coach Donahue was just awesome getting us ready on defense. And it was just our night. Some teams, everybody clicks, and it was a team effort. And sometimes individuals stand out with playmakers. So they put you in the right position, put you in the right play to be successful. And I was just blessed enough to get in there and get with them. They in 70, after the Sugar Bowl in 73, that spring, Coach Hennessy came up to him and said, Coach Donahue wants to have a meeting with you. And I was like, oh, hell, what's fixing to go on? So we get in there and he's going over on the billboard some plays, and he'd drawn up some stuff and asked me what would I do if they ran this certain play for my position. So he said, we're thinking about changing up the defensive end strategy, because we had coming back that year, Mike Dubose was the other end with Dick Turpin and Paul Harris and myself. But they were going to take the defensive end instead of being a lineman. They were going to have him drop back behind the defensive tackle and be able to actually be a linebacker. So you could play both ways. You could have the ability to rush the quarterback or take the outside containment or cover the gaps just like a linebacker. So it was a perfect fit for me. And it was just one of those things I blossomed with my speed and strength that I could take on the guys and cover the gaps and be all over the field pretty much.
Certainly did a good job being named an All-American in 1975. Just when you look back to your Alabama football playing career, what are you most proud of?
I think the best part was the '74 team. Uh, we were overall offense, defense, and specialty teams. I think we had the best talent of anybody in the nation. Of course, we fumbled it down there with the Orange Bowl, played against Notre Dame, where we lost 13-11. But we should have won that game. We should have been way ahead of them. Like I said, we had a couple of interceptions and a fumble that missed field goal opportunities we should have made or took advantage of, and getting the MVP against them, that was quite a thrill. I've always been real proud of that one.
Absolutely. What can you tell Alabama fans you've been up to since your playing days came to a close?
Just trying to make a living. It's getting the harder you get, the older you get, the harder it gets. So take advantage of your youth, enjoy it, and expect the unexpected, like Coach Bryant used to tell us.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Cook, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Just safe travels this weekend. Look forward to celebrating you and your teammates. Just thank you for your time. Roll Tide.
All right, thank you. Roll Tide, roll.